Hey guys, we're continuing to get ready for Quartzsite, and part of that is getting our rig ready, which we're doing, getting Clifford ready, which we're doing, but also my buddy that's coming with us has bought a Class C motorhome, used one, and so we're gonna go through and do some tests and just make sure the water system is ready to go today. We'll walk you through that here real quick, and hopefully everything's good. If not, we'll make the necessary repairs and have them ready to go. We leave in 2 days, so we better get on it. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna hook up the city water and just turn the water on and make sure that we don't have any leaks in the plumbing, and then see if everything works. Make sure all the faucets work in the shower, and hopefully check the water heater as well.
And go slow.
Yes, sir. We just open the water a little bit so we don't have a gusher if we do have a leak. And we'll go in here and check it out. Look at this place. Very cool. Whoa. Okay, it's gonna blow the air out. And that looks like about what you had it at, doesn't it?
Looks fine.
There you go. How about the other side? Like the cold and the hot? And it's not going to be hot just yet because we don't have the hot water heater on. We don't have any power applied to the camper right now. This is just the pressure of the city water, country water in this case. All right, we had something running here. Look at how cute this bathroom is. They've done some remodeling. There you go, blowing the air out. Was the faucet on?
Yeah.
This is the cutest little bathroom right here. Is this your favorite spot, Ron?
Yep.
That's where it's connected
Bedroom.
to.
Yeah, Ron and I both have a passion for the restroom, so.
The best news of the day is we don't got water spraying everywhere.
That is a fact, because that happens sometimes, but don't freak out if that happens. Just turn the water off and figure out where it is, and plumbing can actually be pretty easy to repair. I'm sure there's lots of videos on YouTube how to do that.
You know what?
So these guys are already looking like full-time RVers. The shower is a storage area. That is a common theme because you're always having such a small space, you're always having to shuffle things around and stuff like that. So they look like veterans already.
It's so hard to move in a room.
Look at the rest of this camper. Look at, they did the backsplash, did some painting. Awesome, look at those curtains and the cabinet. Very cool. Getting it all set up.
Here we go.
You ready to go to Quartzsite?
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be exciting.
Oh yeah, it's working.
Oh. Whoa!
Might be a little bit of pressure in the line.
Your shower head looks pretty good. There you go.
We're off to a good start.
Yep. Looks like everything works.
Yep.
So, next step, we'll look under here and make sure we don't have anything dripping underneath or under the cabinet, and just make sure we don't see anything where we could see it. Yep.
No.
All the pipes under there, everything looks dry. Something I would suggest anytime that you do a new project or you get a new RV or a new vehicle, the systems that you're kind of worried about, check them once in a while until you gain the confidence that everything's good. It's a good idea just every once in a while to look and see if you got any leaks, anything like that. That way you can catch it before it causes any damage. But everything looks really good right here. We don't see any water pouring under the camper. Fortunately, I got Maisie here to help look. Sweet dog. The next step is we're going to put a little bit of water in the tank just in case there's leaks. We're not just going to go full force and fill it up right now. We're going to switch it from the city water connection over to the freshwater tank here. So we'll put a little bit in there. Going to have a little pressure from the system, and then that'll bleed off. All right.
All right, go ahead, turn on just a little, Sam.
Now, did you get new batteries on there?
I got one battery.
Okay, good.
Let me start the rig up.
You should be able to do it without starting the rig. Let's see if the battery works first. Let's see. Where's the water pump switch in here?
Right here.
Okay, yeah, cut that on. Okay, is there a battery disconnect or is it?
I
No.
think they're...
Maybe it's just dead from set. Okay, it's generator time.
Wait, I found the battery
So-
disconnect. Right there.
Okay, so when he bought this, the generator had a little fuel leak, and he went and got that taken care of, got a new battery put in here, just a single 12 volt. Like the rest of us, he's interested in maybe doing some solar and stuff, and I think we're going to look into some of that when we get to Quartzsite as well. All those lights work, yeah. Okay. How about, okay. What was your fresh water showing?
The third.
So we don't have a lot of water pressure there, kind of trickled off, so we're gonna have to look at the pump and see what's going on there. Okay, now we hear the water pump going. You can hear it kind of, your water pump is gonna sound like that, like a kind of a rattling almost. And here's something we need to look at. Looks like that's been sealed a little bit there. Might want to put a little caulk on there. It's probably okay for the moment. If this pan were to fill up, then it would probably leak in there, but just the shower is probably going to be fine. And so you got pretty good flow. And the other side works too?
Yep.
All right. Gonna try the shower. Oh yeah. Beauty. I think you're in good shape, man. It looks pretty good. We did just notice this crack down here in the bottom of the shower pan. So maybe some silicone or something. And honestly, I don't think it's an emergency. All right. Last thing is we're just gonna kind of look around there and make sure we don't have any dampness on the floor. I think that Kimberly and Miss Christie are gonna come in here and get them all set up, and they've got some cool storage things going on here. Let me show you one of them while he's looking at that. Look at this. I absolutely love this setup. Ron and Christy already got started with some organization. Look at this. I absolutely love this. I bet Kim's gonna want one of these in our camper. It's so deep that it'll hold everything in there. Like they got the coffee cups and so forth. Got these cool drawers right there. That's super sweet. I can see some of those in our future. And we'll let Kimberly show you some of the organization she's doing in our closet. It fell apart, so we lost our rack and all that. So she's got some drawers and stuff she's put in there for now to see how it works, and maybe we'll do something more permanent later. Well, no leaks so far. We'll just keep checking on that stuff, and you know, after you check every once in a while when you're running your pump and stuff like that, soon you can kind of get, you know, your confidence up in your systems, and then you can check less often. You still want to be checking and be aware. Hearing for water running. Any of you ever experienced that? We have. So I think the next and final thing is see if we can't get the water heater going.
Exactly. That's important.
It is. Yeah. Cold water is a deal breaker. Ron and I could probably rough it, and even the kids would probably be okay. You know, we're drink from the hose kind of people, but well, maybe not Ron. He wouldn't drink from the hose, but I would. And but our wives, not so much. So we're going to see what this looks like over here. And we may pull these rods out. Actually, it looks like you don't have a rod. That's a plastic. Doesn't look like there is a rod in this one. It's a plastic plug, it looks like. So I'm not sure about that. If you know why that would be, put it in the comments down below. We'd love to learn something on that. I haven't seen that before. And something I recognize filling propane on RVs is hardly ever is there a lock on the propane door. And I think that's for safety purposes, so you can easily shut it off. And then when you're opening your propane, you just open it maybe a quarter turn, maybe a little bit more. That's full on with propane. It's not like water. And that way, if you have an emergency or something, you can just, you know, turn it a quarter turn and get that thing cut off, so you can stop the supply of propane if there's a fire or a leak or something like that. Ron is going to go in and turn the electric on to the hot water heater. Sorry about generator noise. We do have to run that for power right now until we get the batteries charged up, but he's going to turn that on and we're going to sit here and see what happens. Here's our igniter, and that should automatically ignite right here. And then the propane should come through here. This should be a ticking sound, like tick, 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 tick. And then you'll hear the flame kick on. I don't see any other switches out here. Okay, I'm thinking this is for the electric side. What's this switch up here? Oh, maybe that one. Wait till I get out there and I'll knock on the window and then turn that switch on and we'll see if it ignites. Ooh, we got somebody on both ends. Let's see if that igniter goes. There, you hear it? See it sparking in there. Not getting any propane at the moment. There it goes. Look at that. And I got a yellow flame. We'd like to see that yellow flame turn blue. There it goes. This probably hasn't been running quite a while. Yeah, it's getting more blue. If there's any like debris or anything in there that can kind of interrupt the flow of the propane, sometimes I've seen that cause it to be a little bit yellow. So we'll let that run a little bit, but we'd like to see that go blue. Yeah, but it's lighting up. It's getting more blue there. There's some dust or debris in there. See how it turns yellow when I do that? All right, so we may want to try and take that tube off and clean it up a little bit. But we'll let it run a little bit here and see while we're very aware. You don't want to have any carbon monoxide trouble with a yellow flame though, so we'll keep an eye on it here and get that to where it's running blue by the time we get up there to Quartzsite. Oh, that's a lot more blue now. Yeah, it might just take care of itself. Yeah, I think that's going to be cool. Let's let that run a little bit and see if we get some hot water. You want to check it out?
Fire up?
Yeah, fire. They had to get the propane in and then it ignited a second time and then it fired up. See how the flame's kind of a little bit yellow in that hole there?
Yeah.
We'd like that to be blue so you don't have any carbon monoxide problems. I think let's let it run a little bit. Ron figured out something here. It looks like we're thinking this is for the electric. So that would turn the you hear the generator kick up. So we're thinking that that is for the electric side of the hot water heater. And then this is the propane. The light's off. But if we turn it off, that should cut off the propane. And then when we turn it on, it comes on, and right there it goes off. And so we're kind of thinking that must mean that it's kicked on and it's lit. So we'll let that run a little bit and see if we don't get some warm water. Then I guess we'll have to let it cool off.
Right.
And then try the electric side of it.
Perfect.
But I would say the biggest problem would probably be the propane side. Yeah, that's the one we were worried about the most. Because we're going to be off grid so much, propane is a huge resource for heating your water.
And I got the carbon monoxide detector to put in.
Speaking of propane, carbon monoxide detectors, super important. In my opinion, you can't have too many of those. I would want to have one at the front and at the back, but at least one in whatever your rig is. If it's a cargo conversion, if it's a Class A, you'll want to have carbon monoxide detectors because you can't smell that and you won't know you have a problem until you're dead. You basically will fall asleep and then die. So carbon monoxide detectors are super important, especially when you don't know the rig, but even after that, carbon monoxide detectors. All right, so things are looking good in there. We did find some sort of cloudy water coming from the hot water heater. It's not warm yet. We're gonna give it a few minutes, let it warm up, and then probably pull that plug and try and drain that out. A lot of times you can get a lot of, I don't know, calcium buildup or some minerals and stuff in there, and that can make it cloudy, and also it can reduce the volume of your hot water heater. So we'll pull that plug and kind of flush that out. But look at this here. We talked about let it run and see if it goes blue. Look at that. That's perfect. I don't see anything wrong with that. Look how blue that flame is. Fantastic. Things just got a lot easier. Looks like the hot water heater's working on propane at least, and that's really all Ron's gonna need for Quartzsite. We've run off of propane on our fridge for over a year. If you remember, I'll try and put a card here for the video where we fixed the refrigerator and realized we were just not pushing the button right for 2 years and thought it was broken. That was one of the more embarrassing moments, but you can run your fridge and you can run your hot water heater off of propane, and that actually saves on a 30 amp rig. That can save you a lot of amps that can go towards microwaves and space heaters and that kind of thing. So I think he's in good shape. All right, the hot water heater has been running for, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 minutes. Should at least have some warm water coming here. Is it warm?
It's warm.
Fantastic. Check it off the list.
Check.
All the water systems work. The pump, the hot water heater, the city water, and we haven't found any leaks yet. Awesome. Looking here, here's the water tank. Trying to see kind of in the dark there. I don't immediately see any damp carpet, and there's the water pump right there. There's where your fill tube comes in. I don't see any leaks, and the carpet around the edge isn't wet or anything. I think that's gonna go on that list of check that once in a while. Right. Just to make sure it's not, you're not getting any dampness back there. I guess you want to fill the tank the rest of the way and make sure it fills and everything okay and overflows like
it's fine.
That's how we roll. Hot water.
Hot water.
Miss Christie will be super happy.
The trip just got better.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, we got to figure out what's next on the list. All right, propane side works. Now we're going to go ahead and run the hot water out and try the electric side. So just running that for, I don't know, it's probably 6 gallons, maybe 10 minutes until it cools off. We'll flip on the electric side and give that some time to warm up, maybe 15, 20 minutes, and see if that heats up. Things are looking up. Worst case scenario, we got hot water on the pump. Okay, well, we're out of water, so fill the tank back up. Probably fill it all the way this time. You can see, and then you can run it out if you don't want to carry all that weight, but you're gonna want some in there. It's always good to keep, in my opinion, everybody has a different opinion, it's good to keep a little bit of water, maybe like a third of a tank or something, so you can use your restroom. If you end up having to stop on the side of the road, you've got water for whatever. We like to keep maybe about a third of a tank. If you remember last year, we had a full tank because we knew we were going to be going several days across Texas, but then we hit that ice storm that we didn't know was coming at that point. It wasn't shown on the weather apps or anything, and we got caught with a full tank, and it froze and it busted our frame out, and now we got a new camper. So you got to weigh the risks in what your environment is. One of the projects we're doing to get ready for us, Kimberly and Autumn and I, to go to Quartzsite, our generator, when we pulled it out to run it this fall, it needs to choke on to run, and it needed to be full on before, and I ran some seafoam through it several times and got it to where I could run it on half choke. We could power the camper that way, but if we wanted to run the coffee pot, for instance, it would blow the generator because it wasn't able to run at full power. The options I'm down to right now is basically either a new carburetor, new generator, or try and pull this carburetor off and clean it, because I feel like I'm not getting enough fuel, and that's the best thing I can think of right now. So we're going to open this up. I'm probably going to try and pull that carburetor out and see if I can't get it cleaned up, get this thing running at full power. If not, we'll have to think of something else. As you can see, somewhere along the lines with this rubbing in the truck or whatever, we lost our latches, but that thing stays in there pretty good still, so that's not really a problem, but we got to pull that off. And here's our carburetor right here. Probably be helpful to take off this panel. I'm going to do that now. All right, seeing there a little bit better. So got all this plastic around there.
You're comfy.
Feels uncomfortable.
Got the carburetor pulled off there. That's what the back side of it looks like. I think I got to take this bolt out here and take the bowl apart and hopefully clean the needle and everything in there. I'm not sure if that's it, but hopefully that works, and hopefully I can get it back together. I dropped a little spring down here, you know how it goes, but I'm pretty sure I can finally get it all back together. So you can see there's some goop and stuff in the bottom of there. The float actually looks pretty loose in there. Seems like that actually does pretty good. So the only thing I can think of is to take that pin out of there and pull the needle out and see what it looks like in there. Okay, so we got the float off of there. It goes in that little hole right there. I'm gonna blow through there and try and get that cleaned out. There's the needle. We'll wipe that off. All we can do then is put it back together and see if it works. We did get a little gunk off that needle and the inside of the tube. Not much to speak of. Look at that Q-tip. We did get a bunch of gunk out of this bowl here. Hopefully we get it back together and it works. If not, I don't know, we'll figure something else out. We got it kind of partly put together. We don't have the shields and the cowling and stuff on, but we're gonna try and give it a start and see what happens. Well, I'm gonna say that didn't work. Now we'll check the fuel lines going back to the tank, I guess. All right, so we put it back together and it didn't work. Cleaning out this port here that the needle goes into. And so I got thinking, what could it be? Because we're getting plenty of fuel into the fuel bowl. We tested all the lines going to it. Then I noticed there was this port over here. This is what we took out of there. And you can see a little bit of kind of the green corrosion in there. It's like a brass fitting. See if I can show you. But you couldn't see through it. But now you can see through that hole. So what I did was I found this twist tie that was on one of the white water hoses that you can get them at Walmart or whatever. That's where I grabbed mine. And I just stripped back the wire. I used it to clean it out. I had bought these little brushes at Harbor Freight. And this is like a little, maybe brass, I guess. So I tried to use this little bit softer one, but not like a vinyl brush, and cleaned it up. Now we're gonna put it back together, and I really think that's gonna solve our problem because I couldn't see through that hole at all before. Now it's nice and clean, and I cleaned up the fitting around it that had some corrosion and stuff on it. So we're gonna put it back together, and hopefully that does the trick for us. I'm feeling good about this one. Okay, well, I'd say we got her. We've tipped the tank to where the fuel's not going in anymore, and it's still running everything that was in the bowl. So there's no more fuel actually coming out of that tank. It's burning what's in the bowl, and it sounds good. And when we pull the choke out, it makes it want to die. So that's a good sign too. That means it's getting plenty of fuel. So when we close the air off, it's too much fuel and makes it want to die. We're gonna let that bowl run out of fuel, put it back together if we can figure out how to do that, and we should be in good shape. We'll test it, put it on the camper, and try and run things off. Just got to stick to it. I'll show you a little trick about getting the carburetor off in the simplest way too after we get this run out. I'm going to show you a quick tip that'll save you a lot of hassle and time to get the carburetor off to work on the flow or that little port that I just showed you on these Champion 2000 watt generators. So look at this. You've got all this stuff, and these hold it down, right? And you've got this attached here and all of that, but you don't need to take any of that off, right? You probably don't even need to take this fuel line off right here. If you just take this nut and that nut off, then this just pops out, and this thing has a long enough cable on it that you can just slide it off, and you can do all the work you need to on that bowl, and then there's just the one bolt on the bottom. So just these two, pop that off, and then you can open that bowl up and get right to the float and the needle and that other little port that we ended up cleaning out. So hopefully that saves you some time. I'm gonna put this thing back together, and we're gonna give it a little test run on the camper, and then I'll button the whole thing up. All right, great news, guys. That fixed it. We got the generator back over there, and that joker is running like a champ, and it can run the coffee pot. We tested it running the coffee pot, and that is the biggest news. I gotta have my coffee when I'm out in the desert. So we're in good shape. We really like the little 2000 watt suitcase style generators because they're easy to move around. They're a good bit quieter. I can bring it in the camper. I just set it inside the door at night, so I don't have to worry about getting stolen. I don't have to chain it up or have that worry in the back of my head when we're out boondocking, especially by ourselves. Love it. Back in action, and we're ready to go. All right, so we got one more thing to check on my guy's camper over here, and that is the refrigerator. The propane side was working. Is that what we're running on now?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna go in here and see, is the fridge cooling off? How's it feel?
Oh yeah, the bomb's getting cold.
Is it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I think you're in good shape, Bo.
Fridge is a little slow, but...
Right. All right, well, that's gonna be it for today. I'm gonna button up the rest of that generator, just get the panels on the side. Looks like everything in my guy's camper is ready to go. Now it's just a matter of getting things cleaned up, organized, packed up. You guys know how that is. All right, guys, we're pumped. We're ready to go to Quartzsite. We're gonna have a great day.
You have a great day.
And we'll catch up with you guys next time. Bye, y'all.
Feeling in my bones, I can feel it in my veins. Hands in the sky, I can feel the winds of change. You live and you learn, and I hope I've seen enough to make something right and make up for what I've lost. I was down, but things are looking up. I wanna get high on you, caught by by surprise by you. Want you to make my heart feel as much as I know it should. I wanna get high on you, caught by surprise by you. Want you to make